August 26th, Tuesday, and this is what we have: a new release image from the Webb telescope. And this is posted by Dr. Drew. You look at the bio there, pretty well educated scientist, inventor. Here is the Webb telescope image of 3-eye atlas from August 6, just released on August 26. The resolution is low. We cannot see any detail since the pixels are so large, about 20 kilometers across. Basically, it shows a huge cloud of carbon dioxide gas, orange, around a large center rock, white. I don't understand how this image could be such low quality, but maybe there is a reason. Just check out the responses. Okay, took them 19 days after the photos were taken to produce this doctored image. That's the response from the public. That game there is from the 1980s. So the reaction to the public is, I can't believe this baloney. Because if we look at the Webb telescope gallery, these are the images they could take from afar. This is a new one. New moon discovered orbiting Uranus. I mean, that's the moons in Uranus right there, all of them. And they found this new object, that teeny tiny object, all the way to the planet Uranus. And they took an image not too long ago of the farthest galaxy. This one right here, the close-up of the farthest galaxy. And they said there was some estimate over 2 trillion galaxies, or 2 trillion galaxies last time I checked. It's hard to even put your mind around that. And let's see this one here, the Webb. Which planet is this? I think this is Titan. Yeah, it's got to be Titan, because it doesn't say. So the Webb telescope, that's Mars, that image was taken between the orbital plane of Jupiter and Mars, closer to Mars. And this is what they show us. No, just checking my likes. I'll get back to the I'll get back to the Webb telescope. I found this. Richard C. Hoagland, he was one of the Art Bell's favorites, who worked for NASA, and he was a reporter, a scientist, a great scientist. Wrote many books about Cydonia, and he wrote this right here. For him, he's been laying low, but I feel like this is the opening to my friend Arthur. He means Arthur C. Clarke. Most important novel, childhood ends. Looks what's coming for real. Richard C. Hoagland. Let's take a look from the Gemini Observatory. The color, the Enterprise mission. Revelation 21, the New Jerusalem, cubic city of God. This is from the Gemini Observatory. Enhance. Doesn't say the date though. Wow. And we got more activity on the far side of the sun. Just keeps blasting. Look at all those sunspots. There's going to be more, but they're going to say it's AI, and there's going to be real ones, and people are going to post it. They're going to look so out of this world. They'll say, "Oh, it's just AI." I saw this kind of comedy going through the asteroid belt. Since it's doing the ecliptic, it's gotta, to avoid all those asteroids and the asteroid belts, it's going to have to maneuver like this. Scientists discovered an ocean 700 kilometers underneath Earth's surface, which drives the volumes of all the oceans. So we don't know what lives down there. Now this here, you know, I have a house to live in. I have water, food to drink. I have a family. Thank God so much, my God. And I said, where is the husband and the father in the picture? I mean, you're gonna do something like that. Put the husband and the father there too. And this one here ties in with what's happening currently. Quantum experiment breaks reality by seeing two versions of reality existing at the same time. I did a video on this about the two merging together, parallel. So a lot of people are thinking this is with 3i, it could be a hologram. Scientists discover origin of mysterious signal from deep space sent to Earth. Unknown. Had to see if these guys are still digging. I guess they took a break. Now they're measuring this. They're going to be there for a long time trying to dig to where it begins. This is fun to watch. Too bad they can't go faster. Getting back to the web. Could take all these images, the farthest galaxy in the universe, and then something that's right in our face, and this is what they produce. Now this is something I touched upon on my other video, not the bio, about the shofar. For the first time in 2,000 years, the shofar had been blown on the Temple Mount. 2,000 years. Maybe Richard Hoagland is right about the New Jerusalem. He's a fantastic scientist. How is it that all these artists from different parts could do basically almost the same drawing? I mean, this creature, gotta beware, because there's creatures now is very poisonous, continues to spread across the country. This comes as tourists were banned from going into the water along a 7-mile stretch. Now look at that. Has anybody ever seen a creature like that before? Looking at it, to me, it looks alien in nature. And all these National Guards going to cities, now they're saying Chicago, New York, and all these other cities. And they're armed. They ain't playing around now. When they issue you weapons, it's for real. And they said, what, 19 cities now? Or something like that. Last time I heard. There's a reason. They'll say, well, it's just to prevent crime. What if it's something else? They're going to make arrests. And they're going to try to prevent riots. What if it's something else? What is something else? We don't know. Could it be all connected? Ay, Dios mío. No, this is in Antarctica, the ice. So if there's a city, 2 miles high ice, buried. No, this is Mars. Again, they went with the red filter. This was discovered in 2014. Kind of looks like the drawings we saw earlier from Mesopotamia. Oh, that's nothing but a rock. That's just pareidolia. Rocks look like faces sometimes. And we're getting a lot of energy from above. 1959. Looks like Now these are mermaids. Now, I'll tell you which one I think is real. This one, I don't know about that one. That one looks a little fake. But the other one, no, I could see something like that one. Yeah, I could see something like that. So apparently more and more sightings. But this spacecraft here, the Spears X, which was launched not too long ago, March 11 this year, its mission is to study 450 million galaxies as well as 100 million stars in the Milky Way. Every 6 months, it surveys the sky, the entire sky, using the instruments. This is Sirius again. Check out this. We're just talking about Sirius. Oh, this was posted August 20th. All of a sudden, all these Sirius article. Oh, that's about the white salt, ice-rich crust that makes it luminate. Now they're saying the water from underneath reservoir of salty water pumping up and making that glow. So there, for some reason, this is getting attention, recent attention, as the three-eye atlas broke the orbital plane. Coincidence? And also too, looking at the mythology of Ceres also. Now, there are videos out there about angry astronaut, about breaking news. The interstellar object is large and releasing carbon dioxide, CO2 instead of water, H2O, or carbon monoxide, CO. It has no tail, and no matter what they say, it's a comet. It fulfills exactly the opposite. Now, Avi Loeb put out a paper, article he wrote a day ago to examine this more in detail. The team at SpearX Space Observatory, I already showed you their website. This right here, they published this. Now this image is this satellite. That's their satellite right there, orbiting Earth, taking images. Okay, let's go back to the article. This right here. This little small satellite that's orbiting Earth was able to capture this carbon dioxide emitting, and we saw the distance, the miles, so it was over 4,800 kilometers from end to end. And we look closely, we have that anomaly sticking out here and here. See how close we can get. Wow. You could see the perfect circular sphere and that bright light. Maybe that's the bright light that's aiming at us towards the sun, the eye. But this image is way better than the web. So, it was made between August 8th and 12th. No water clouds detected. These early claims from two research teams were unsubstantiated by reported data, as I argue in previous essay, accessible here. The lack of bright water coma is puzzling. I'm just looking for stuff that sticks out. This makes little sense, since we should have found an order of 1 million object of the size of 21 Borisov before discovering a 48-kilometer interstellar object. So now they're gone back to, I mean, we're entering the second new moon. Just from July 1st, it was announced. The new moon in the middle part of July. The amateurs couldn't really focus in on it, so they waited till this week, since Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and till the end of the month. That's the second. That's called the black moon. And the other third one will be around the late part of September, around September 23rd, during the time of the Feast of the Trumpets. And it'll be much closer to Earth and to the sun and to Mars at that time. To me, that's when the reveal happens. I mean, they won't be able to condel esto much longer. I mean, already there's a tremendous debate going back and forth. Is it a comet? No, it's not a comet. Yes, it's a comet. No, it's a comet. They got all the AI saying it's a comet and all the others pushing the comet. And then we got National Guards going through all these cities and all these countries agreeing, saying, well, it takes time to peer review. It takes them normally 3 to 6 months to peer review the analysis and the images and this. I mean, when was the last time you had all the countries around the world basically supporting each other on that? There was a mention about that. I saw it defending why people are arguing why they're taking it till November. So they decided, below even mentioned it. Apparently, it must have got to higher up. They said, you got to release something. So the Webb released that image. He's the head of the Galileo project. And they do have telescope. So there's more to this. I mean, he has this is basically, he has the radio, so they can listen in. Probably doing it as we speak. It's probably why he's out there saying it's 40% chance of it's being. He has scopes in Pennsylvania by Harvard, and who knows how many other countries. Let's look at where they're the instruments, sophisticated instrumentation. The project employs a multi-sensor system, makes tech wide field cameras operating across multiple band for targeting and tracking. See, what else you got here? We got radar arrays. We got radio right here. Why have nobody provided the data? Like, for example, the Chantra. Chantra was the one that gave us that musical notes. The Galactic Center is calling in musical notes video. The Chantra. Where's the Chantra data? So they have equipment for that. Let's see what else they have. They got equipments. They got cameras. He has cameras. I mean, one of the reporters said, "Hey, you got observatories. What is your observatories? Where's the image from your stuff? Where's the radio? Are you picking up any radio tunes? Are you picking up any singles or any? Where's Chantra? Chantra is like the ones that listens, provides a lot of images in many spectrums, but also too the mathematical notes of sound. I might be wrong, but I know Chantra is. And we still got the Spitzer. Nobody's talking about the Spitzer, which happens to be located on the other side of Earth orbital plane. That's the next. I mean, now the news has come out about the Mars reconnaissance going to take image. I had that way before it was even announced. And Abilo is talking about that also. So they do have cameras. They do have observatories. They could, about the Galileo project. It's coincidence that now all of a sudden about Ceres. What is CO2? Let's play a little bit about CO2.
Hi, I'm Emerald Robinson, and in this What Is video, we're going to discuss the molecule carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is important for life.
Carbon dioxide into liquid. When dry ice forms, green plants use carbon dioxide during photosynthesis. They turn the carbon into the sugar, glucose, during a process called fixation. Animals are then able to use this glucose for energy. Burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere.
Okay, so plants absorb carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is vital for life. Not too much. Just a nice balance. Let's see what else I could go find. So we got this from Richard Hoagland mentioning the New Jerusalem. That is in Hopi prophecy. And that's also in which it's in the Bible. And this image here from Gemini. See what else. There's more. I wanted to touch upon the I gotta be careful with the word. Let's put it this way. Down south, the underworld, 2 miles of ice place. Let's see if this time I could see. I'll put on pause. Okay, let me play it. See. This was on August 22nd when this happened. It was first registered as a 8.3, but over here you can see it close to a 9. And some of the I had the sensors right here. Multiple readings are close to a 9. One did surpass a 9. Now this area is notorious for legends of the sleeping Leviathan, where the Kraken legends they talk about. And there was a video. See, they had it at 8.2 originally, and they dropped it real quick. They had it for 8. Okay, thing that happened down south by what if those legends, those myths of the sleeping. Remember, there's an ocean under the ocean, and it's protected by a layer. And there is a movie long ago. If you study mythology, this right here, for example,
Release the crack.
remember that part? That's an old movie. And I like the old movies better than the new movies, to be honest. Especially the 1950s science fiction movies. I mean, it's like they knew the future. Down, remember Buzz Aldrin and all the other stuff that's buried, where they're saying they're finding gigantic structures under the ice, and since the ice is melting in parts, it's revealing in the glaciers over there in the southern tip of Chile and Argentina, showing those faces from Google satellite, Google Sky. And there is images of also faces, gigantic pyramid type mountain. What if those legends from the ancient past, during the time of the Greece and before the time of the giants, is real? What if that earthquake was just the beginning, basically cracking open the gate? What if this taking two parallel universe? I already talked about that in a video about 3 months ago before I went to the hospital. And because the data on it explains it all in the video. The AI was saying this, and reality was saying that. So wait a minute, there's two different realities here. What if that 9 point? Let's say it was a 9.0. They're gonna, of course, they're gonna keep it down. It's not good. It's so far away. It's not really gonna cause. That was the beginning of an awakening. The underworld, the leader of the underworld, is down there. And with all these creatures, all these fish, like this devilfish that only lives deep in, coming up to the surface to come in, do himself in. I mean, and then you got all these eels that are popping up, and all these whales, and all these fishes, and all these strange creatures, poisonous, flesh-eating creatures in the beach now. I mean, the water. When the good are taken out, because I know God's not going to lie to us. Jesus is not going to lie to us. The good is going to be taken out, or there's going to be a new. Honestly, all I know is good's going to be taken out, the bad's going to be left. Okay, and they're going to experience all this horror. There's going. It also says in the Bible, men's heart will be full with fear. What would make a man fear to the point of they tried to, and they couldn't, I can't say the word, they couldn't do themselves in, or they couldn't do, D didn't follow them, and they ran into the mountains, into the caves, like prior history. What would do that? These are pieces of the puzzle that I'm working on my side of the board. Somebody has to look at this stuff. Somebody has to, hey, wait a minute. What about what the other houses? I mean, the Hopis say this is the fourth. Which one was the first? Who were the first? Who was the second? Well, we know the third. That was the flood, the great flood. The Enoch wrote about him. You'll find it in the Dead Sea Scrolls manuscripts. Those people that did that also did other information. Also, that the time of Daniel. I mean, 100 years after Daniel, they already had the manuscript. It's just a food for thought. Something that is going around my cabeza. The time of Medusa. I mean, this movie, especially these movies, I'm going to be rewatching them and just looking at ancient history, they match con las stars, the constellation, because like in the constellation, a lot of these heroes, a lot of these events are written in the stars, and this object is following like a musical note, bouncing balls, hitting note by note by note by note perfectly, and reminding us, look what happened to Ceres. It crossed the orbital plane. We had that tremendous flash, that video that I got. Oh God, oh Lord, I thought I was gonna go away at the exact moment when it broke. I say broke the veil, and is now in the ballpark, now in the stadium on the 1 yard line, and getting closer, probably up to the 3 yard line right now. Moving forward as it moves, gets closer and closer and closer every second. And right now, there are other images out there on Facebook, the Comet sites that are showing basically the same pattern. I mean, I could do this 24/7 because we're all working at this. There's a lot of people to follow, and there's a lot of people. My advice to content creators: tell your people, your subscribers, to check the notification and subscribe, because I've noticed a lot of my notification and subscription of others that I follow for a long time. I said, wait a minute, how in the hell did I subscribe to this person? Why is my notifications not on? You see what's been happening. I guess they just want to keep all the old timers apart. All of the old timers that ran with Kent back in the old days when the internet started. Cyberspace Orbit, back before then. Orbit. And then came Godlike. And then came Mars Anomaly. I mean, there's other sites long gone that were there during those time periods. So this is just a brief 360 view. All I gotta say is that web image is a bunch of, I could see now, if I was in the NASA's PR department, it was moving too fast, we couldn't focus on the camera. The web is not designed to take comets, even though they promised when they were lobbying for money that they would focus on comets, and the only comet they ever focused on was 29P, which is beyond 1 astronomical away from Jupiter towards Saturn, and they were able to get an image better than this. Well, this one's moving faster. You know, people are waking up. You got to put yourself in their shoes. Remember, they're going with the 1959 Brookings report, which was, at first they were going to disclose, and then that report came out, and they're still abiding by it. If I was T, I would have that 1959 Brookings report dissolve. But what you gotta bring this to the table, folks. What if, think about this for a second, they knew, if you tell the public now, like that movie Deep Impact, and then there'll be rioting, there'll be looting, there'll be this, people won't be paying their bills, there'll be disorder, people will be panicking, people will be jumping off the, doing them in. So in order to avoid that, you would do what they're doing and wait till September after, let's say, the event happens. People are, and this is Native American, this is Hopi and the Bible. Well, I only believe in the Bible. Okay, then. Or other religions that talk about when people are snatched up, good people are snatched up. All of a sudden they just disappear. Oh, what's that thing they took? That thing shot. Did them in. So you got to look at it from that point of view. I'm looking at it from that point of view too. I was reminded, but it makes sense. Now all these military, and they say China's mobilizing, but they say we're going to attack the what that place, that island. But they're mobilizing. I mean, they haven't attacked that island yet, and it's no sense, because they're going to have to maintain the same. If it goes south, they're going to have to defend their territory. I mean, are they going to stand a chance against these? I mean, they're so advanced. What if they're the return of the Anunnaki? I mean, they're going close to Mars. You see the artifacts. We know about Europa. over there by Jupiter and Titan. And what was another planet? There was another moon that they say it could harbor life. There's so much. Look at Sirius. They're all of a sudden talking about Sirius like they got to tell the truth. So maybe the Brookings report, 1959, is preventing them, and also to added national security. You don't want people going local, because you know all you got to do is give them an excuse, and they'll be looting stores, robbing, and doing all sorts of evil. So you gotta look at it that also. You gotta look at it from that point also. Wow.